What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video. Now this is going to be more of a review video, my thoughts video, or more of like a discussion video. So with all that disclaimer stuff out of the way, if you guys enjoy this in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments you want to add to my review, let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I am Kamikazevondoom. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I bring you another Division 2 video. Whew. But alright, with all that said and done out of the way, we are going to talk about conflict. That's this entire video. And the reason for that is I just hit level 100. Now level 100 is the max level you can hit in conflict. So I felt that with me being level 100, I actually had the justification to be able to make one of these videos. So I'm going to talk about conflict in and out, the entire thing. Pros, cons, things I've noticed, things that are going on currently, that have gone on in the past, and all that, while experiencing that and leveling up to level 100. So with that, I do have quite the bit of experience in conflict now, and with that, I think I have some knowledge that will help you guys out. So, conflict, for those of you that are not in the know, is for PvP. This is the only area in the game where it is straight PvP. No NPCs, no outside anything, just player versus player. Now, in conflict, there are 3 different game modes. There are skirmish, team elimination, and domination. The only option you get in this menu is quick play. You hit A on console, you hit A to start matchmaking. Now this quick play randomly generates you into a group of players. Now a lot of it is based off of your win-loss ratio, maybe your KDA, which is your kill, death, assist ratio, but it definitely goes off of your win-loss. Now your levels do have a little bit to do in it, so there's multiple algorithms in place when it goes into matchmaking. I'm going to let you know right now, with matchmaking in conflict, it is very hit and miss. Giving you an example, I can sit here and solo queue, meaning I can hit matchmake by myself, and I could basically go into a match immediately. It'll find a match and just throw me in it, or it'll find some lobby that's missing a person and throw me in it pretty much immediately. Now, with 2 people, again, matchmaking is somewhat easy and immediate. However, with 3 or 4 people in your group and you hit quick play, it can take up to 5 minutes to find a game. That is some broken shit. Like, that is just straight broke. Like, I don't know what their deal is, but whenever I'm matched up with 4 people in my lobby, it will wait and just wait and wait and then throw me into a top tier like group of people. It doesn't matter if all the 4 people in my group are in the same clan. It doesn't matter if we're all in the same country, nothing. It'll just wait, and then it'll try to throw you in a match with a full clan or a full, 4-man group. That is some broken, like way broken. I can sit here and play solo and average, I don't know, maybe 5-6 games an hour. And if you know anything about these games, the fastest game mode is skirmish, and skirmish has a 12-minute time from start to finish. So I can roughly get through 5-6 games pretty easy in an hour. And that's if I mercy a few games, stuff like that. But if you're in a group of 4, you'll be lucky if you get 3 games in an hour, because the matchmaking is so long and miserable that if you have a full squad, it feels like a punishment. It's not just throwing people in a lobby with you. It waits and waits until it finds a good four-man squad to throw at you. Which, in theory, yeah, if I'm playing solo, I don't want to get smacked by, clans left and right in every game. But, like, there's got to be something they can fix with that, because, that stuff's broken. So what I typically do, and what I would recommend you guys do, is solo queue. Maybe have two people in your group. But you find games really quick. You're not going to sit there and go against the try-hard sweaties every single game, match after match after match, like you would if you're in a four-man squad. Because let's be real, 9 times out of 10, if you're going against a four-man squad in Conflict, it's probably they're all clanned up and they've all been playing Conflict since day one. You sit there in solo queue, you can find, Joe Blow, Jane Doe over there just playing, and it's more casual and it's more fun. Now, Conflict as a whole, to me, is non-stop PvP. I typically play Skirmish. There are 3 different game modes I'll show you. Let's see. So there's Skirmish, there's Team Elimination, and then there's Domination. Now let's see. I've played 33 games of Domination. I have played I have played 4 games of Team Elimination, and I have played 512 games of Skirmish. So that, that's safe to say I prefer Skirmish. Now, to me, the reasons why, before you guys get all butthurt, the reason why I prefer Skirmish over everything else is that Skirmish is non-stop PvP. There's no real loading. I mean, obviously, the initial loading takes forever, but after that, it's just non-stop until the game's over. And if you can mercy a team, you could easily get a game done and dealt with within 5 minutes, and then just move on to the next game. Very easy in my book. And for me, I'm all about time management. I don't know about you guys, but I try to stay productive. So Skirmish, to me, is the most productive out of the 3 game types. Now, the next game type, let's see. So what's the next one? Team Elimination. Okay, so for Team Elimination, my gripe or bitch or complaint about Team Elimination is the loading times. The loading times of Team Elimination by far double the game time. It is ridiculous because you have to play each round. Think of like Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. Now in Team Elimination, it's each round, so you just kill them, kind of like a team deathmatch style. But once they're dead, they don't respawn. And then you wait until that round's over, and then it reloads. Now, if you caught what I just said, I said it reloads. So each round, you have a loading screen. It is ridiculous. So it's the best out of 7 rounds. So just think for a second, if, say, each loading screen is, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. Okay, there's 7 rounds. Say you play 7 rounds and then it's sudden death because you guys are tied or whatever. Come on, that's already 7-8 minutes of loading time that you've sat just waiting. And you could have already played an entire Skirmish game by that. It's just a waste of time in my book. Now, Domination, some people might prefer Domination. I do not. I do not care for it at all. I think it's a cheap, watered down version of Last Stand. And for me, Last Stand in the Division 1 was probably the best game mode out of all of them. You had 8v8, you had 3 different flags, you took over, you controlled, and that was it. It was a lot of fun. However, they condensed it down to 4v4, and the same thing, 3 locations, cover, but it's nowhere near as fun. And in fact, the way they have spawns, oh man, don't even. Alright, so now we're going to talk about spawns. I might as well label this a rant video as well. So, the spawns are ridiculously horrible in Conflict. Basically, the way you can play this game, let me show you a build. Alright, so check out this build. So basically, if you had 4 people using this build right here, Bloodsucker with a whole bunch of armor, a whole bunch of health, a whole bunch of damage. If you took this build right here, had 4 people on the same team use it, you could run down their throat with a booster hive, which I have on. And what you do is you run down their throat, you get that initial kill, and then by the time they respawn, because the spawns are so long, by the time they respawn, we can be right outside of their spawn point. And then for the next 10 minutes, spawn camp them. It's ridiculous the way they have conflict set up. So that goes on to my next little segue is spawns. Now, you guys already know I don't really play domination. I don't really play team elimination. Team elimination due to the loading time, and domination really due to the spawn camping. Now, that being said, I do play a lot of skirmish. Now, skirmish, there is still spawn camping. It's not as bad as domination, but it is pretty bad. And I'm going to give you a whole set down on why it's so bad. Now, spawns, what they have done in conflict is that they can sit in their spawn with full armor, full damage, everything, and just sit there. They can throw skills out, they can throw grenades out. If they have special ammo, they can shoot special ammo out, but they can just sit in their spawn. So what I'm finding a lot lately, and you guys can let me know in the comment section below, but what I find a lot lately is that they just sit in their spawn and they put on like, say, like a high skill build, and then they just throw skills out and they try to win that way. Not knowing that people with good builds could beam them and then they could still lose the game, but you know, teams still try it. They try to hide behind their skills inside their spawn. Now, what has Red Storm done? Because remember, Red Storm controls conflict. And what have the devs at Red Storm done? Well, if you run into their spawn and it's still considered their quote-unquote spawn point, it takes away your armor completely. So they can sit there and camp in their own spawn, but if you run in there to kill them, it takes all your armor off, and then they can just melt you with 2 bullets, depending on what your health is. I mean, maybe for berserk clutch people, you know, that might be pretty cool, but for everyone else, that MFing sucks. And the problem that teams are facing now is, say, all right, we'll go back to this build. So say a team with, you know, a build similar to this, just like a really tanky bloodsucker build. Say we run down your throat, kill you, and then you respawn and we just sit outside your spawn. Because it doesn't take, you know, a wise ass to realize, oh, okay, outside of this point, I can still keep my armor and not lose it. So I can sit at the very rim of that spawn point, and then when you spawn and run out around the corner, I'm right there waiting. And what they're doing is they're not flipping the spawns like they should. They need to set in some sort of algorithm to prevent this, because, you know, I am guilty of doing it myself, and I'm guilty of having it done to me, is that they'll spawn camp and then game. Like, if you go up against a real, you know, crazy team that's really good, they kill you, and then all of a sudden you're being spawn camped for a good, you know, 5 minutes or so, depending on how well your team is. And that, I think, is something they need to address in the future, because the spawns and the way we can spawn camp, it's ridiculous. And for newer people that are just now trying to get into conflict, you know how toxic that is? That, you know, you're level 1, level 3, level 5, whatever. You get into skirmish and then all of a sudden you're being spawn camped for the whole game. That would probably make 9 out of 10 agents stop playing conflict. They're like, oh, you know, fuck that. That's AIDS. I don't want to be in there. And then they'll leave, you know, go to the dark zone, whatever. Which right now the dark zone's just AIDS anyways. But for conflict, I just think they could really fix that, because the spawns are just, they're trash. Now, the next thing I would say is don't go away from the special ammo and the, so the specialized ammo and the boosts. Now, in the game, doesn't matter if you're playing team elimination, skirmish, or domination, you'll hear someone over the intercom say, you know, boost incoming or specialization incoming. and then it'll pop up and it'll say, you know, boost activated or specialization drop, you know, activated. You guys need to go to those boosts and those special ammo drops. That will make or break a game. That's like one of my tips I'll give you guys is, you know, go to the boosts, go to the special ammo. Because if, you know, you're in a firefight and the one guy that isn't with you isn't going for that boost, he's just trying to catch up. What if the other team gets the boost and it's a damage boost, and then all of a sudden you're face tanking a guy and then he gets all that extra damage, you're dead. Or say they're running clutch, you melt their armor and then they get a armor boost, and then all of a sudden they have 100% armor on top of their fully procced clutch build. That is crazy. So I would highly recommend you guys just go to the boost, go to the special ammo as soon as it drops. You will be better off, I promise you. Now let's see if I covered all the bases here. So I talked to you guys about the matchmaking, talked to you guys about skirmish, team elimination, domination, which ones I prefer and why. I talked to you guys about the spawn points and spawn camping, which is horrible. But most of all, I mean, it's just nonstop PvP. If you guys enjoy PvP and you want to play PvP in the Division 2, go into Conflict. They're not messing with your builds anymore like they used to. There's no real normalization. I mean, yeah, your weapon damage drops down to the PvP damage, but that's what it does anyways in the Dark Zone for now. So whenever they change that, I'm sure that'll be changed in Conflict as well. But anyways, it's just non-stop PvP. It actually is a lot of fun. I would recommend you guys play Skirmish if you're going to play any of the game modes. And yeah, you don't have to worry about NPCs, don't have to worry about any of that. Just put on your hardest hitting PvP build and go in and have fun. I'm Kamikazevondoom. I'll go ahead and end that video there. If you guys enjoyed it in any way, shape, or form, please hit that thumbs up. If you have anything to add or anything you want to ask me about Conflict or anything at all with Conflict, let me know in the comment section below. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. And yeah, hit that notification bell. Get notified each and every time I'll bring you another Division 2 video. I'm Kamikazevondoom.